YouTube. God bless you this morning. This is Pastor Nate, and I pray that this video finds you well. Listen, real quickly, we're going to get right into it. You saw the title, It Is Well With My Soul. I know you've heard it before. You've heard the song in church. You've heard people say it all the time when they speak, it's well, it's well. But don't let the familiarity of that phrase rob you, because Pastor Nate's going to go a little deep this morning. Going to give you some interesting nuggets about the phrase, it is well. Okay, let's get into it. 2 Kings 4:26. Y'all heard about the Shunammite woman, right? To make a long story short, Elisha, the prophet, came to her and said, you're going to have a son. She didn't even ask for it at her age. And she had the son, and then the son died. So when she went to Elisha, and Elisha asked, what's wrong? Is your husband all right? Is your son all right? And her response was, it is well. Now, mind you, her son just died, and while they were having the conversation, her son was still dead. But her response was, it is well. My God, what strength. What faith in God, just to know that whatever's going on, no matter how tragic it is well. And then eventually Elisha went to the Shunammite woman's house where the dead son was, went in the room, prayed for the son, and he came back to life. Oh my gosh, it is well. So it was a victory at the end. So let's get into it. Now there's a hymnal out there that's called It Is Well With My Soul. Many of us are going through so much, and we still need to have the strength and the faith in God enough to know that it is well regardless what's going on. And this guy by the name of Horatio Spafford, I'm just kind of going off my notes, I have a little outline here. He went through many traumatic experiences, and from those experiences, the song It Is Well was birthed. Friends, sometimes you can write the best songs out of pain because you're expressing what you're going through. But he wrote It Is Well, signifying that, God is in control. And let's get into it. We're going to take you through some of the events. Well, when we start off, Mr. Horatio Spafford lost his son. Now, I didn't research as to how the son died. I just want to kind of go through some traumatic events and show you how the song, how the song was written or how it was birthed. But anyways, he lost his 2-year-old son. That in itself is a tragedy. And, most people would think that that's a premature death at 2 years old. The baby hadn't even had a chance to live his life, only 2 years. But he lost his son. And then after that, Horatio lost his wealth. Yes, as a result of the Chicago fire of 1871. His wealth was tied up in property and assets. And because of that fire, that property was destroyed. So after his son's death, and he turned around and lost his wealth, his property. My God, like Paul say, perplexed on every hand. And we may say today, if it ain't one thing, it's another. But even through all those events, God is right there. I know sometimes we might not want to hear that, and sometimes we might not even think God is there. But just think, if he wasn't there, we wouldn't be able to make it through. But God is still right there. So, Mr. Spafford, I guess he said, look, he was married, and even though he lost his one son, he still had 4 remaining daughters. So I guess he must have said to his family, hey guys, we've been through so much. Let's get out of town for a few days. Let's go on a trip. We're going on a cruise, right? They were going to Europe on a cruise. Okay, now as they were getting prepared to go on this trip, they were leaving out, I guess getting ready to get on the ship, he receives a call. Yes, Mr. Spafford receives a call, a business call. It was some zoning issues, I guess as a result of the fire. He was I know he was an elder, and I know he was a lawyer, but I guess he was a real estate agent too. I don't know, but it has something to do with zoning. They called him back, so he told his family, hey, you guys go ahead on the trip and I'll catch up with you later, just because I have to go back. We've been through so much. I don't want you guys to have to go back. So y'all go on and I'll catch up with you later. So Mr. Spafford went back to take care of business. And then later on, while his family was out on the cruise and he was taking care of business, he receives a telegram from his wife. Oh my God, I wonder what this could be. And the telegram says, I got it right here. I want to say it verbatim. The telegram said, saved alone. Like, saved alone. Wow. To come to find out, she was the only one saved in his family. What happened was, on her cruise ship, it collided with another ship, and her ship sank. So the 4 daughters, they died as a result of that crash. She made it out. So she telegrammed him saying saved alone, which means I was the only one saved in our family here. So he and his wife lost the children. I don't know if that's all the children now, but from my research, I'm assuming the 5 children were all they had, because that's what they mentioned. They didn't mention any other. So they lost their son, and then on the cruise, they lost all 4 daughters. They lost 5 children. Oh my goodness. Y'all, we don't have a right to complain, right? With these little small migraine headaches, or if people look at us wrong and lie on us and we get all bent out of shape and we want to complain. And those issues, even though they're issues, but they're minute compared to what Mr. Spafford went through. And some of us may have gone through those traumatic experiences. Yes, those things happen where you've lost loved ones, and maybe you've lost a child that you thought the Lord shouldn't have taken so early, and maybe there were some loved ones or some friends that their death was all of a sudden. It was a shock to you, and you just don't understand why these things are happening. God, if you're a loving God, why? But in my research, I saw nowhere where Horatio Spafford questioned the Lord about these things. My God, and many of us are having a hard time with that. Many of us haven't even moved forward yet. But if you can just get up enough strength to say, it is well, God is in control. So through all those events, the song, It Is Well, was birthed. Yes, out of all that. Now, he wasn't mad at God. He didn't feel some kind of way. And sometimes when we go through those things, we be like, God, I don't understand. You know, we're innocent people. We're hard working. We go to church. Why do bad things happen to good people? My friend, I don't have the answer to all those. All I know is we should trust God anyhow. He knows, right? Even when we can't trace him, we should trust him. I mean, there's some tragedy that hit my home, yes. But when you're in a place in God, friend, you will know that it is well, which means that his strength is perfect in our weakness. My God, today, have mercy, Lord. And as he told Paul, my grace is sufficient. God's grace is sufficient. His grace will get you through. I know maybe you're going through something today. Just know that God's grace. May God undergird you with strength and peace. So they wrote that song, It Is Well With My Soul. And there are other verses too, but I'm just going to go through the first verse. It says, when peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, God, whatever your will is, thou hast taught me to know. In this it says, thou hast taught me to know, but some people say, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. And you know, so he and his wife, they lost all their children. And guess what they did? They went over, I think it was Jerusalem somewhere. They went over and they started mission. They started doing the work of the ministry. What? God, you're going to allow my children to be taken from me? And what? God was with them. And many of you probably would say, well, God, I don't want to have nothing to do with you after all that. But God is still good, y'all. And he knows. It's unfortunate these things happen. I can't answer the question. All I know is we have to depend on his strength during these times. My friend, I hope this exhortation blessed you. I hope it encouraged you. I hope it was some sense of enlightenment. I know some of these things were kind of depressing, but I just wanted to kind of come on and let you know the history of the song, It Is Well. In the meantime, be in peace and not in pieces.